Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My presentation for the VPS English class is going to be on Victorian literature. I'm going to cover 3 points. I'm going to cover history, I'm going to cover literature, and I'm going to cover the hero. During the time period of 1830 to 1901, the history area was known as the Victorian Age, and this was due to the reign of Queen Victoria. The major ideas during this time period were industrialization and expansion of the empire and economic prosperity. The authors that wrote during this time are Rudyard Kipling, Robert Browning, Oscar Wilde, and Charles Dickens. During the history of this time period, there was an increased use of English and an increase of trade, which developed from the expansion of the colonization into India and the Middle East. There was a drive for social advancement, and you could either do this by educating yourself and acting really proper, or by marrying above one's station. The thought was that once they colonized a certain area, that they would be able to turn these people into proper Englishmen, whatever that might be. The last part of my presentation is going to be regarding the authors. Robert Browning was one of the famous poets. Jungle Book was written by Rudyard Kipling, and that was also the story of Rikki Tikki Tavi, which is one of my favorites. Lord Tennyson is another poet during that time, and Oscar Wilde wrote many fairy tales during that time. The author that we're going to concentrate on is Oliver Twist, and Oliver was born into poverty. During that time, he was at a farm where they had young babies grow up. At the age of 11 or the age of 8, I can't remember, the children are moved to a workhouse where they are fed very little, but they are asked to work 16 hours in the factories. The conditions are very despicable because there's pollution and no sanitation. During the first, say, 12 years of Oliver's life, he had no friends, he had no one that loved him, and he also was treated badly and beaten. However, he made some decisions to leave that area and to walk to London, where he meets the Artful Dodger and Fagin and his gang. At that point, he is presented with the idea of becoming a thief in order for him to survive in the area. He doesn't like that idea and does all that he can to get away from these thieves. During the time, he goes back and forth between different people that he lives with, and then at the very end, someone actually recognizes who he is and puts 2 and 2 together and finds out that yes, he is the missing baby of Agnes, who was his mother, and his father was a very rich man because he was left a great inheritance. The wife and son of his first marriage got part of the estate, and the son was actually trying to prevent Oliver from ever understanding or knowing that he actually was a recipient of this inheritance. And that concludes my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it.